Yes, I did. Absolutely beautiful,
Oh,
fantastic,
good,
man.
good, good,
Good
good.
stuff. So I participated in the family dedication for the 9:45 service. So I think we have 14 families, a total of I think 21 kids get dedicated during our
Nice.
service. So yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So we're gonna jump in. Miss Bobby, good to see you again. When I saw Marcus say the name Bobby Foxworth, I said I met Bobby years ago back in I think we were in Tampa at something that I was teaching. Um, so good morning, everyone. Good morning, world renowned team. Good morning, guests. If you all see, we have some guests on with us this morning, and the reason being is we're going to, like I said, the goal is to make sure that the industry is better by helping our agent, our colleagues, our partners get better by offering training. And so this morning, what we have is now I don't see that. So Clutch, you might have to help me out. I don't see that Bobby has audio on her end. So she might be working on that. So if you can jump on your phone and see if you can assist with that, I would appreciate it. So today we're going to be going through, well, first, I moved too fast. All of you mothers on the chat today, happy belated Mother's Day. We don't take it lightly. We know that yesterday is a big day, but we want to celebrate you all day, every day. So thank you for being the amazing mothers that you are. I know our Cheryl King Weathers is a fantastic mother who is proud, proud, proud of her baby. She calls him her baby. Even though he's a grown man now, always will be her baby, I'm sure. So happy belated Mother's Day to all of you. But today we're going to continue looking in sales success, but then also we're going to look at upgrading communication, right? And so what we have to remember is that this thing that we do called selling, right? This profession that we have, a couple of things that I want to let us know is that number one, it is not brand new. This is not a new thing that we in. Selling has been around for years and millennia. And it's our job to figure out how to get better at it. Here's why, not just for kicks and giggles, because our livelihoods depend on it. How good you are at achieving sales success is going to determine what your tomorrow looks like and your week and your month and your family's future and the holiday season and ultimately the life that you get to enjoy. And that's why we're so committed to making sure that all of us can experience sales success so that it can spill over into success in other areas. But before we get started this morning, even going through the book or looking at upgrading your communication, here's the question that I want to ask you. And this is a question I'm going to seriously ask you all for the family, for the team, but then also for everyone on. Do you have a plan? Right. And I know everyone's like, yeah, I have a plan, but I'm going to go a little bit further. Do you have a plan for your day? Right? Do you have a plan for your day? Like today, do you have a plan of what you're going to do after this? Do you know what you're going to do from 9 to 9:30 or from 11 to 12:15? Do you have a plan? Then my question is, do you have a plan for the week? What are you doing today, Wednesday, Thursday? What does your Saturday look like? What's your goal for the week? And of course, what is that going to lead into? Do you have a plan for the month? I'm not asking you to have a plan for the year, even though I would love for you to. I keep my plan for the year right here at the corner of my desk so I can always look and see what I am doing on the marketing side of things. Do you have a plan for the day? Do you have a plan for the week? And do you have a plan for the month? Is today's plan going to help move you forward and have a winning week? Is your weekly plan going to help you string together 3 good weeks to win the month? Then we're going to say, well, Neil, how do I know what goes into my daily or weekly or monthly plan? We're going to start with our year and we're going to work backwards. So let's just look at day, week, and month really quickly. Do you know what you're doing today, this week, and this month? Do you know what you want to accomplish today, this week, and this month? How many sales, how many conversations, how many new leads, buyers or sellers do you want to have in your funnel? If not, then we're already in trouble. So we can look at it two ways, and we must look at it two ways in order to be successful. We must look at it day, week, month, and month, week, day. Are the goals that I want to accomplish on a monthly basis? How can I break those down into simple, manageable steps on a weekly basis? Okay, I need to have 4 appointments. For me to have 4 appointments in a week, how many phone calls do I need to have each day? How many appointments do I need to make a day? What am I doing? Am I doing my MLS searches? What am I doing? Day, week, month, week, day. Here's what I know. If we win enough days, we'll win enough weeks, we'll win enough months, we'll get the quarters under our belt, and then we will win the year. Here's what else I know. If we don't win today, if we don't win this week, if we don't win the month of May, we're not going to win the quarter. We're not going to win the year. That's the reality. And the reason why we don't win is we don't have a plan. So this is just the education, just the training plan that I have for May and for June. Right. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to go through 4 chapters of sales success and then looking at how to upgrade communication. But then for those of you who are new on with us, I'm going to encourage you. I'll make sure that I get the link to this training out to you all so you all can hear it, you can play it back, but then also so that you can go through and get the other resources that I'm going to suggest. The It's a Good Life podcast by Brian Buffini on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This past week, the last 2 episodes were about overcoming burnout. And I don't know what your experience is in this market or in the industry or in your career. Burnout is a very real thing, not only in our professional lives, but also in our lives in general. Maybe you're just burned out and tired of being a good mom or spouse or significant other. Maybe you're tired of being a fantastic realtor and real estate professional. Maybe you're just burned out, and one more thing, one more disappointment, one more failed contract or rejected offer is going to put you over the edge and you're going to throw your hands up. So that's what we want to guard against when it comes to burnout. So we're going to have these every Monday, 8:15. We're going to start with the training just like we're doing right now. We've got some additional, more specific training on the listing and the buy side that I'm going to encourage you all. We're going to invite you all to. But then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, make sure that you're putting some good stuff into your mind with, I just suggested, It's a Good Life podcast from Brian Buffini, but then just anything. And then build it into your plan. Have a plan for your day. Monday, how are you waking up? Tuesday, what are you doing midday? Thursday, is that going to be your evening or afternoons to get out and do pop buys? So let's jump in really quickly to chapter 11. If you all do not have this sales success book by Brian Tracy, I encourage each and every one of you to get it. It is one of the best books that I have in my library. And the reason it's the best is it's very simple. So simple that I can understand it. And there's nothing better than being able to understand valuable, relevant content. So chapter 11 talks about the friendship factor. And in essence, this is what the friendship factor in chapter 11 says. It says that you, Courtney, don't need more clients. It says, Donna, you don't need more clients. You know what you need? You need more friends. If you had more friends, you would have more clients. If you had more clients, you would have more business. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, Neil, obviously you don't know my friends. And then my retort would be, well, obviously you don't know what a good friend is, right? If we had more good friends, we would have all of the business that we need. So that's our goal. Our goal is, how do we become friends? How do we show ourselves friendly? How do we get people to know, like, and trust us and want to do business with us instead of us going out and always seeking, always searching? And here's how we know what a friend is. Who are the people that would mention your name in a room full of opportunities, right? And so our goal is, in everything that we do, in those that we interact with, especially those, whether they're in the industry or not, For instance, your real estate friends, if your real estate friends are commercial practitioners, okay, and they hear about a residential opportunity, would they mention you or not? If not, why not? Is there something that we can do? Is there something that we should do to move further along in that relationship, strengthen it, and to become more friendly? In here, it talks about establishing a high quality, credible, trusted relationship with the prospect before you make any attempt to persuade her to buy or use a product. Are you doing that, or are you going straight in for the sale? Man, listen, Neil, in this market, I don't have time to have a trusted, reputable relationship with someone. I need your name, I need your driver's license, pre-approval letter, and I need you to sign on the line. That's the way we think, right? I know the market is crazy, but here's what I want to remind us: the fundamentals, the sound selling practices have not changed. Okay, so I want to make sure that we are doing the things that work and that we are building relationships, that we are trusted, that they have our trust, that they know that we are trustworthy. What are some of the ways we could do that? One of the best ways that we can true or prove ourselves trustworthy is to use this doctor of selling that Brian Tracy talks about. And the idea is it follows the examination, diagnosis, and prescription. Unfortunately and fortunately, we've all been to the doctor. Maybe some of us in our latter years, we're going to the doctor more frequently than we would like. But we know there comes an examination, diagnosis, and then prescription. In your selling relationships, are you taking time in this market for the examination? Or when someone comes to you, are you saying, all right, let me get that pre-approval letter. Let's get out. Let's get you a house. Or if they're coming to you to sell, are you saying, I'm going to get you as much money as fast as possible, and never examining your clients? Are you taking the time to ask questions? Well, why are you selling in this market? Where are you going? Because as excited as we are as professionals, if we had someone come to us right now and say, hey, I want to sell my house, what's the first thing you're going to say? All right, let's meet. I'll get the listing agreement or marketing agreement signed. Right. But are we asking them the question, where are you going? Because yes, you could make a lot on the sale, but you might be living in your car, right? Yes, you can make a lot on the sale, but what's your plan after this? Why are you selling? Is being a landlord an option? How much do you owe? What's the reason? Right? Are we examining? When someone talks about buying, are we immediately saying it's a tough market to buy? Or are we going to examine the situation? Maybe for them, it's not a tough market. Maybe they don't look like it, but they have the funds and the reserves stuffed away. So we want to make sure we examine, then we diagnose, and then we offer the prescription. And the tough part, the scary part, sometimes our prescription in selling might be don't sell, don't buy, don't rent, sit, do nothing, fix the credit, wait for things to turn around. And that's the hard part, because in our profession, we are tasked with a greater responsibility. Caring, courtesy, and respect. A truly friendly relationship is based on courtesy, and respect. And I know you're thinking, Neil, I thought we were talking about sales techniques, sales success. Caring, courtesy, and respect. In your business plan, in your model that you operate, where does caring, courtesy, and respect fit in? Is it part of your model? Is it part of your philosophy at all? Or are you saying, Neil, man, no, we come in, we fleece them and forget them. Let's get everything we can out of this one transaction. If we're going to two-sided transaction, instead of giving them a break on part of the compensation, we're going to hit them for everything. We ain't going 654, we're going 666. Oh, well, I'm not going to say that last six, because then it might be kind of evil, right? But you all get what I'm saying, right? So those are the questions that we must ask. Now, I'm going to say a dirty word right now, so you might want to cover your ears. Persuasion, right? We think of persuasion as a bad thing, but let me ask you all this morning. How skilled are you at persuading people? Have you worked on your art of persuasion? Here's what I do know. As a child, you were much better than you are right now. As a child, think about child you, Donna. Think about child you, Bobby. As a child, and if we have children, How good are their persuasion skills, right? They figure out what they want, they lock in, and they're not going to shake, right? How skilled are you? When was the last time you practiced the art and the skill of persuasion? Now, this is not manipulation. In sales, we have to be able to persuade, and oftentimes it's just persuading others to make the decision that they need to make. We're not manipulating our clients, customers, and prospects into doing something they don't want to do. We're persuading them to take action now. Maybe it is that fear of this hesitancy, saying, well, you know what if? Jim Rohn always calls it the language of the poor. Well, what if I buy a house right now and the market turns? What if we get this house under contract and then the inspection comes back and then we're out of inspection costs $475? Well, maybe I'm going to wait because I don't know about inflation. And then here's the other side of that. What if everything does work out? What if you're in their life to persuade them to take action? And what if they buy the home and their children's futures are changed forever? What if they're the first one in the family to actually move out of the neighborhood that they've been in and to move and to see a better tomorrow? So I am also reading this book here, fantastic book. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. This is marketing. And in this book, here's something I want you all to consider. He talks about this idea of marketing. And in here, as a marketer, and just for those of you who don't know, we are not real estate sales agents. We are not listing agents. We're marketing specialists. So we're either marketing for our buyers or our sellers. So in here, when we talk about this idea of persuasion, I can look at your entire, I can probably tell how successful you are if you can confidently say this statement to clients, customers, prospect, and them believe you. And the statement is, I believe there's a better way. Let me show you. Right? So if you're talking to a seller, if you can confidently communicate the idea, I believe there's a better way. Let me show you. If you could talk to sellers, buyers, tenants, landlords, I believe there's a better way. Let me show you. I think there's more in store for you in this transaction, in this situation, in life. If we can do that, if we can work on our persuasion, then we will have more and better results at the end. So there are three types of sales triggers. So one of them is going to be the power of reciprocity. And what that means is, the most powerful buying influence is reciprocity. Emotional reciprocity. That means if I make you feel good, you'll make me feel good. Physical reciprocity. If you do something nice for me or give me something nice of a physical nature, I'll do something nice for you or repay you in some way. That's why, here's what I want us thinking about. All of this stuff is proven because how about this? If I ask you, hey, Marcus, how are you doing today? You're going to say, fine. And you, we as human beings, we as creatures, we're just programmed with this idea of reciprocity. If I give you a compliment, 9 times out of 9, you're going to find some way to compliment me back at some point. It's just the way that we're wired. So can we use the power of reciprocity to move clients, customers, and prospects closer to doing what they need to do in the time frame they need to do it? Therefore, using our powers of persuasion. The second key to buying influence or emotional buying trigger is called commitment and consistency. If people see you, if you show up, they will believe in you. How consistent are you showing up with your clients, customers, prospects, with your database? Are you showing up daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? Can they count on seeing your face, hearing your voice consistently or not? Are you always there? Do they have a commitment of excellence even before they have a business relationship with you? Are they getting market updates, right? We receive them. Are they getting market update reports from you weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? Do they know what you do? Are you reaching out to them on their birthdays via Facebook? Are you sending them happy birthday videos? Are you shooting them text messages? Are you calling them if their children are about to graduate and you see the graduation or where they've been gotten a scholarship? Are you calling them and saying, hey, congratulations, not only for your child, but also for you? That means that you're doing a heck of a job. Keep going. Commitment and consistency are going to play such a huge role. And here's what's so amazing. And we're going to look at how to upgrade communication here in a moment. But here's what's so amazing. In 2022, when we think about, man, there's so much technology, there's so many ways to communicate. Now, a simple phone call is going to go much further than it would 5 or 6 years ago. We just don't receive phone calls from the people that we want to talk to. Now, you might get phone calls all day, but they're going to be who? Spam likely or potential spam. And then the one that I'm really going to ask us to leverage is going to be the social proof. Are you using social proof to help persuade others? Social proof, testimonials. After every transaction, are you getting a testimonial? I mean, that's a simple yes or no. If you're getting the testimonial, are you doing something with it? Where are you putting the testimonial? Do you have a buyer book that you include your testimonials in of other buyers? Here's the one I love. Are you getting testimonial videos? When you say it about yourself, it is bragging. When someone else says it about you, it is a testimony. So what I'm going to encourage you to do, not ask you, not tell you, not make you, but I'm going to encourage you at your next closing or even after, maybe right now, you can reach out to someone and say, hey, would you just shoot me a 10-second video? I don't care if it's landscape. I don't care if it's portrait. You can send it to me by WhatsApp. We could do a Zoom like this right here and just say, hey, it was great working with Cheryl King Weathers. She was a fantastic realtor. She answered all of my questions even before I knew what they were. If you need to buy, sell, rent, use Cheryl. That's it. Something simple, right? If we are not using social proof, we're leaving money on the table. How many decisions have you made in the past week, month, or quarter based solely on social proof? How many things have you done just because someone that you knew, liked, and trusted encouraged you or suggested that you do something? Oh, chapter 13. Chapter 13 is all about making effective presentations. How good are you at presenting? I mean, now I know all of us say, well, hey, what do you mean? I'm a real estate pro. How good are you at your presentation? If you had an opportunity right now, Marcus, to do a marketing consultation or a listing presentation, would you be ready to knock it out of the park? If someone came on and said, hey, I'm in Arizona right now. I want to buy a house. Can you conduct a buyer consultation via Zoom or Skype or on your phone? How skilled are you at your presentation? Do you know why someone would choose you over the competition? What makes you better than everyone else? When we talk about presentation, we're not only talking about long form, we're also talking about short form. If you're in the line at Whole Foods, Public, Target, Family Dollar, can you tell someone why they should hire you, why they should work with you instead of their cousin, right? If not, we are not ready to present. We have not done our homework. Now, this is where, when we talk about the presentation, I believe that being ready is so important. Being ready. We should always, Clutch, I'm going to put you on the spot since you got family and friends on here, brother. 3 numbers that we should always know, no matter where we are, what time of the day it is. What are the, oh, don't be coughing, trying to, come on, unmute yourself. Do you know the 3 numbers that we should always know, no matter where you are about your marketplace? I need you to know 3 numbers. The market needs you to know 3 numbers, your client. And here's what's crazy. Your future, your financial success needs you to know 3 numbers at all times, because they will always be the basis of any presentation or consultation that you do. Clutch, go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, I mean Marcus Scott. I'm calling him Clutch in front of friends. Marcus, man, you ain't unmuted yet. There we go. Come on, what we got?
Days on market.
Okay, 1 for 1.
Median sale price or average sale price. Um,
Come on.
I do. That's what
Days on market. Days on market. You got one. Come on. You might need to phone a friend.
I can't think of the last one. I got this thing in my head. I got the numbers in my head, but
okay. Number one rule of presenting: always be ready. Right. And I put Marcus on the spot, right? Because I can make fun of him because we're family. Right. So we know days on market. Can anyone tell me what are the other two numbers, the other two metrics that we must have at all times in order to be ready to present? Anyone want to take a stab at that? Anyone want to take a shot?
List price, days on market, and days on market, and it's one more. It's one more.
All right, I'm going to help you all out. It's the list price to sales price ratio. The list price to sales price ratio. That's going to be vitally important for buyers or sellers. Right now, in most markets, we're at 100% for single family homes. Condos, some of the condos on the lower end of the price spectrum, we're between 95 and 98%. We need to know list price to sales price ratio. That helps us have an effective presentation. Days on market, right? Median days on market, or you might hear it as time to contract. We have to know that. Seller, we have a low days on market. We can be a little more aggressive in our pricing. Buyer, we have a low days on market. We better make one heck of an offer. Our highest and best has to be first. And then the last one is going to be months of inventory. How much inventory do we have available? In my marketplace right now, we're at 0.9 months of inventory. In the zip codes that I'm tracking, we have 0.9 months of inventory. If 1 month goes by and no new inventory hits the market, we're done, right? So we have to know list price to sales price ratio, months of inventory, and then days on market. If we know those three, we now have a basis for an effective presentation when it comes to a marketing consultation or a buyer's consultation. And the reason that's so important is because the reality is we only have a few seconds to make an impact with those that we're looking to serve. Okay, so here's what Brian Tracy says. 95% of presentations can be improved upon in some way. Keep working on your presentation until you sell successfully to a qualified prospect almost every time. So as we're talking about prospects and prospecting and presenting, do you know what your conversion ratios are? Because Brian Tracy says that we can tweak our presentation until we sell to a qualified prospect almost every time. Number one, are you getting in front of qualified prospects? Don't be trying to present to people who ain't got no money. Don't present to people who don't have a proper Marcus. Yeah, you better stop it, right? Don't present to people who are not decision makers. Don't present to people who cannot sell. If you don't have a property to sell, why are you calling me about selling the house? If you're not the legal owner, you can't sell. I should not waste my time. That's not an investment. That's a waste of time selling conversations with people who are not qualified. If you don't know your conversion ratios just over the past month or past quarter, for the first quarter of 2022, look and see how many phone calls you had, how many appointments that you went on, how many agreements that you had signed, either buyer agreements or marketing consultations. How many of those actually turned into deals? Now, we know all of this stuff. We just have to be reminded. Why? Because we forget. And when we forget, we tend to think that we're doing better than we really are. I thought I was having one heck of a quarter. I thought I was having a heck of a quarter in Q1 until I realized I made a lot of phone calls, had a lot of appointments, had a lot of agreements signed, got a lot of stuff under contract. Ain't nothing sold yet. Guess what? My first quarter was okay, but here's what I know. I know that my account only cares when it closes. And here's what's a big hit. I thought that my first quarter was really good. In terms of the bells and the whistles, it looked good. One of my big deals fell out of contract the day before closing. So now my quarter doesn't feel so good, right? So that's why we have to know our conversion ratios and always tweaking, always working on our presentations. So it's not only our in-person presentations. How many of you, and you don't have to raise your hands or type anything in the chat, how many of you have consistently practiced your buyer and marketing consultation or presentation on Zoom or some electronic format? This thing that we're doing right now is never going away. If you cannot do a listing presentation, what we call a marketing consultation, if you can't do a buyer consultation with some type of virtual video platform, you're not going to make it, right? We have to be able to, can you navigate? Can you share your screen? Can you, that's why I was giving Marcus a hard time, because he knows that he just got a brand new computer and that he's working out and figuring out Zoom. But I'm on Marcus because what if today is the day that the client that he's been trying to get is ready for that consultation right now? If they say, Marcus, I have 30 minutes. Can you do a presentation, a consultation right now? I hope he would jump off of this call, have his Zoom ready, know how to get in and navigate the MLS, know how to use RPR, right? Know where to find all of his testimonials. If he has a promo video that talks about his services, know where that is on YouTube so he could play it. All of that's going to play into our presentation. The gone are the days where we can walk in, have our binder, set it down on the table, and then just start talking. We have to be able to effectively do a presentation and a consultation via the screen now. And one of the most important factors is, well, do you have any stories? Do you have any stories? What are the stories that you tell, that you weave into your presentation? Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Darren Hardy, Brian Buffini, all of the great salespeople, you have to sell using stories. Because if I can see myself in a story, I'm more likely to buy. What story do you have about a client, customer, prospect that you can tell to someone else where they can visualize and see themselves in it? Don't tell me why I should buy a house. Don't tell me why I should hire you to sell a house. Tell me a story about someone who used you and you helped get them to the other side. You saw a better alternative and you said, come follow me. And they went, and it was actually there. What stories do you have? Do you have any stories of when the escrow fell through? Do you have any stories when your buyers had already put their property, their furniture into a U-Haul and was traveling, and we were unsure if the closing was going to happen? Do we have any stories of the person who was not sure they could qualify, but because they used your preferred lender, he was able to go in and coach them up, and 3 weeks later, they were able to tweak a few small things. They did the credit simulator, and now someone who didn't think they could buy actually owns a home and is raising their family in that home. Tell stories, weave stories into your presentation. We need to know the facts: list price to sales price ratio, months of inventory, days on market. We need to know them, but what's going to be powerful are going to be those stories and how we can implement and tie those into. So we already talked about the power of suggestion along with the power of persuasion, but are you willing? Do you have the chutzpah? Are you comfortable suggesting that people make decisions? Or are you going to say whatever you think? We don't get paid to play it safe. That's the truth. We're paid when, so the reason we make money is when the yogurt hits the fan, they need someone to place the blame on. But also when it's time for a decision to be made, they want someone to offer a suggestion. Are you knowledgeable enough about the market, about your client? Have you sat in and done that examination so that when it's time to make a suggestion, it's a well-intended, well-informed suggestion? Or are you going to say, I don't know anything about him, her, I don't know their situation? Well, let's just do whatever you think is best. That's not really a suggestion. So when it talks about suggestions, let me move over here. How you appear. All right, here we go. 95% of the first impression you make will be determined by your clothes. Human beings are intensely visual. Within 4 seconds of seeing you for the first time, people have made their first impression and conclusion about you. 4 seconds. Now, you don't have to like it. for it to be true. Dress for success. I'm not going to tell you all what that looks like. I just know that we, each and every one of us, has obstacles and hurdles when people see us. Okay. Now, your job is, how do I overcome that in the first 4 seconds? For me, I'll just tell you all what my secret is in the realm that I play in. I figured out 9 years ago, put on a bow tie. Put on a bow tie. Immediately, they're going to talk anyway. They're going to say, huh, this dude is crazy for dressing like that, or he's got some personality. And I'm not telling you what to look, how to look, but I am telling you that you're being judged in the first 4 seconds. That first impression. We've heard it, we forget it. In this time when people tell us, well, no, you can be an individual, you can do whatever you want. People can't judge you. They're lying. Only God can judge me. No, only his judgment matters, but everybody's judging us, especially when it comes to where they're going to spend their money, where they're going to use their business. And then put your product in the best light. Make sure that you display your product in this very best light. Make sure all of your sales materials are clean, neat, and attractive. And so when I say that, guess what your product is? You are your product. Put yourself in the best light. I made a decision about 4 years ago. I don't like it, but I said I'll shave my head every morning, right? It's something small, it's something, but what? Put your product in the best light. Always. And this is especially in our Zooms. So the idea is, like I teach a lot of classes, and the question that we get asked a lot is, are the cameras going to be on? Right? Because if the cameras are required to be on, do you prepare? Do you get yourself ready differently if the camera is required to be on versus not? Yep. So here's what I'm going to tell you. In your personal life and professional life, the cameras are always on. Always on. The camera, always be ready to put yourself and your product in the best light, because the camera is always on. And then chapter 15, the last one that we're going to cover today, is establish mega credibility. Here's what mega credibility is. The average consumer is bombarded with hundreds and even thousands of commercial sales messages every day. You must learn how to develop high levels of credibility, what we call mega credibility, in everything you do that affects the customer and buying decisions. So how do we do that? One is commitment and consistency. If you're there over and over and over, that's going to be the first way. That's the best way. The next way is going to be, I'm going to give you all a secret that I tell all of my real friends. So I'm guessing that you all are going to be real friends after today, is leverage this right here. This little piece of equipment let me show you all something. It's not even plugged in, right? Some days I do have it plugged in. I'm actually using it right now. My best sound quality is through my headphones. But leverage this, leverage a microphone to get instant mega credibility. Because if people see you doing something with a microphone in front of you, guess what that says? Who has a microphone? Someone with something worth saying and worth being heard. Leverage the microphone. Now you're sitting here, Neil, is it really that easy? Could be, right? Yes. The next thing that I'm going to encourage you all to do when we talk about mega credibility, think about your reputation. What is your reputation in the industry? What is your reputation in your marketplace? If you don't, here's what reputation is. Reputation is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Is what they're saying about you good or bad? Is what they're saying about you, even if it's good, is it what you want said about you? If they're saying you're a fantastic first-time buyer's agent, right? You're the best at being a first-time buyer's agent. That's good, but is that what you want said about you? Maybe you want them saying, man, she's a fantastic agent working with affluent clientele. Now, being a first-time buyer agent, Cheryl, isn't bad, but if that's not what we want, we have to make sure that we intentionally craft and we intentionally work to change that. And then here's the one where I really want us to focus on here: authority. What authority do you have? And the way we get authority is by social proof. right? So where have you been published? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, it's never been easier to get your name on a byline than ever before. Whether it's going to be in your local newspaper, or you can do a blog, you can be a guest blog writer on someone's site. I'm going to encourage you, the more of that you get done, when you're perceived as an authority in something because of a microphone or because you've been published in newspapers, that's going to add mega credibility. People only want to work with the best. Think of yourselves. Do you want the best that money can buy? Absolutely. You want to work with the best everything. Now, whether you're willing to pay or not is up to you. So oftentimes what we do is we get the best that we can afford. I will never, ever, ever go straight to the worst. I will never get someone that is less than the best that I can choose or that I have an option for. So our job is to be the best. And how do we be the best, or how are we perceived as the best? We create mega credibility, and we'll have examples of that later. So here's what I want to do really quickly. I just want to share something with you all, and this is upgrade your communication. I'm going to send this out to everyone. It's not necessary for us to spend any time on it really, but here's how we upgrade our communication. Communication is the most important skill. If you cannot communicate, you cannot sell. If you cannot communicate, you cannot build relationships. If you cannot communicate, you cannot win. Okay, so here's how we upgrade communication. Know when to text and when to call. It talks about here's when you text. These are 3 great tips for text. If being left on read when someone, or when you text someone, or seeing bubbles show that someone is typing makes you antsy, here are some tricks. So it gives you some best tips, right? Remind them who you are, be positive, and then add value. All right. And then 3 reasons for a phone call. It's been too long. Sharing detailed information, or if you need to cancel anything, especially contracts, pick up the phone to cancel. Don't send a text message, or don't only send it via email. That's how the agent canceled the deal the day before closing, via a text message. The nerve of that guy. And here's what I want to remind you all of: 66% of sellers, 72% of buyers prefer to talk on the phone. I know we don't like it. We're on the phones all day. I'm going to send this all to you, some little helpful stuff, how to do, what to do. Avoid catching up, catching someone at an inconvenient time with the text them first to say, hey, is now a good time to chat? When can you chat? But this is going to be a resource that I send out to you all. For those of you who Marcus got on, I'm going to send it to him, and I'm going to make him responsible to forwarding that out. You got that, Clutch? Thumbs up, good stuff. I know you do, sir. So here's what I want to do. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that we've shared this morning? Now is the time. You've got the floor. You can unmute yourself and share, ask any questions, add any comments if you like. Going once.
Good morning, Neil and everybody.
Good morning, Donna.
Hi. Well, I just want to first say thank you to Marcus for inviting me on this morning. This was very good information. But I want to say it's things that I know and I've heard before, but it wasn't as detailed. It was other people tend to tell you these things and it's very broad. But the examples that you gave, it kind of like made it come to life for me. So I really want to thank you for it. I hope I get a link to log on again. But yeah, just thank you. Thank you, Marcus.
Donna, it's going to be the same link. So just keep the link. Okay. We're going to have these like I said, every Monday morning, 8:15. We're here, rain, sleet, snow, hail, unless I'm teaching a class, and I don't think I have any of those coming up in any Mondays for the rest of the year. So yeah, so jump on. And then here's what I'm going to ask you all to do. If there's something, so I know I have an idea, because like I said, we wanted to have a plan, right? But if there's something that you're having questions about in your business that you're seeing in the marketplace, either let myself or Marcus know. And because if you're seeing that, if you're having that challenge, more than likely someone else is as well. And so, like for instance, next week, we're going to be doing chapters. We're going to finish up with sales success, but then talk about working with clients, dialogues that we use, right? So I know you all like, man, I do not like scripts and dialogues. Well, guess what? You need scripts and dialogues. We need to fill our toolbox with the tools we want to practice when there's no money on the line. Do you know what you're supposed to say when someone says, man, what's this market going to do? Do you know what you're supposed to say? Man, are we in a bubble? Do you know the answer to that? Right? Because if not, we'll put our foot in our mouth or we'll be like, yeah. All right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns this morning?
Yeah, I just want to thank Donna, Bobby, Courtney, and Shalani for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. Hope each of you got something out of it. So thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you for the outreach, Clutch. Marcus, my bad. I'll be forgetting. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to stop this recording now.